this pain. Perception is what will manifest. Thought she could escape, but it's all the same. Birds fly south for the winter, but she ran to the west side. And though much was stolen, much still abides. And I know she'd rather keep her distance, but as time moves on, she's drifting away. Drifting away from me. But did the ocean breeze specify you? Did the palm trees sanctify you? I bet the ocean breeze did advise you that you'll never find you on the run from yourself. On the run from yourself. Concrete will shape to quicksand. Just when you think you're in control, but you're not alone. Take my hand, no shame in the surrender to a bigger picture. Birds fly south for the winter, but you ran to the west side. And though much was stolen, much still abides. And I know you don't wanna burn bridges, but as time moves on, you slipping away from me. But did the ocean breeze pacify you? Did the palm trees sanctify you? I bet the ocean breeze did advise you.
Good morning, family. What's up? What's up? It has been a minute. I wasn't with you yesterday, and I was just like, I won't say I was in another world, but I was in a whole different part of the state, and just doing that family thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not that we went hard for the 4th of July. I don't think anybody even mentioned it other than things was closed on the 4th. You know what I'm saying? That's how black folks do it that we know. But, I just got a chance to just kind of unplug, jumped in the car, went to the in-laws' house. My brother-in-law and his wife just bought a new home. It's fabulous, very comfortable. And if you know anything about me, I'm not really a big go to other people's houses kind of thing. Because like I said, when you're living with a little OCD, just a little bit, you kind of want things in a particular way. Like you want the bathroom to be a certain way. You want the living room to be a certain way. But a very spacious, beautiful home. Shout out to my brother-in-law and his family. And I felt very comfortable. We had a really good time, some really good family time, which was much needed. If for folks that don't know, my family, my wife's family's from Cleveland. And she definitely goes up, once or twice a year. But with COVID, she couldn't do all of that. But now that we're coming out of COVID, we just had to make that move. It was a good time. My son, daughter, the whole nine yards. We had an excellent time. And just got a chance to see a different part of the state, just a little bit. I like to explore when I go out of town. I don't know about you. I'm one of them dudes that just go off on myself and go on a long walk. You know what I'm saying? Or just jump in the car and just see. When I travel, even when I'm staying with family or whatever, I like to go see parts of the place that I'm in. And Cleveland's got some very interesting parts. We went to the lake and it was crowded as a mofo, with the holiday weekend, but always a good time though. The wife and I got a chance to spend some of that time away. So it was good. I got a chance to recharge the battery a little bit. I'm like LeBron, my battery's never going to be 100% again until we get to the off season. But that's still like 99.9% better than the competition. So, we'll be okay. On today's show, listen, share, and share. Those are the words of the show today because we're on YouTube, and I'd like you to take a second to share from YouTube back on the Facebook or wherever you want to share it to. You might have a website or Twitter or whatever. Just let people know that the show is on and where we are and all that great stuff. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. I appreciate you in advance. Guns, violence, America. That's the way you say it today. Guns, Violence, America, or Guns, Violence, Cincinnati. Over the weekend, there was a shooting in Smale Park that everyone's talking about, and for good reason. On today's show, I want to answer the question why Cincinnati continues to fail on reducing gun violence. Because we are. And there's a lot of reasons why. And I want to run through some of the finer points, some of the top reasons as I see it. And then maybe we can get into the finer points as well. If you have an opinion, well, guess what? Your opinion is part of the currency of this show. It what makes it what it is. Your opinion means everything. Now, I don't know what anybody else is doing anywhere else, but on this show, your opinion is very valuable. Talk is not cheap on this show. Like outside of the world of talk radio, your talk is cheap. On this show, it's the currency that keeps us flowing. It's the blood, if you will. All right, you can call in at 513-873-7134. I do know I picked up a bunch of subscribers over the last week or so. What's up? Come on in. I appreciate you. If you're new to my voice and you're like, who the hell is this dude, Nathan Ivey? I think he all right. Well, let me see what he's all about. Well, we broadcast live from beautiful greater Cincinnati. I've been doing it for years. This is what I do. And we go live Monday through Friday, weekdays, typically between 7:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. That's typically the time that we rock. And we talk about people, politics, and pleasure from a black man's perspective. That's the show, folks. We mix in a lot of local conversations because more than anything else, this is a local show. You're going to hear me talk a lot about Cincinnati and then make larger points around the country. When we talk about the country, then I kind of narrow it from time to time and talk about what it means for Cincinnati. That's just what we do. But of course, we talk about everything. I love the viral videos. I'm here for it. I don't give a damn what nobody says. I'm here for them conversations. All right. If it's something that's popping on the internet, we more than likely will be discussing it. And there's so many things popping on the internet this morning and over the weekend. It's been, well, I've seen it busier. But let's just say there's a lot of very interesting things to talk about. At the top of the list, we got to talk about the shooting that happened in Smale Park. 2 teenagers. It's the first fatal shooting at the Banks. Now, the Banks it refers to the river bank because Cincinnati sits on the Ohio River. And so you're seeing this all over the country where they have similar bodies of water. The city and developers are developing that. That's prime real estate in the city of Cincinnati for like concerts and restaurants and even residential, even residential properties as well. It's big money on that riverbank. And so it's been a big draw. And from what I'm reading, a lot of people have been drawn to it. It's funny because, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we just jumped in the car. You ever just want to get out the house? We just jumped in the car and went down to Smale Park and just walked around. It was after dinner. I'll be honest with you, that's a great time to walk is after your dinner. Get you about 30 minutes in, get that blood sugar going down again before you go to bed. It's a great time to do it. So we just really, we spent $2-3 for an hour's worth of parking. We was only there for like 45 minutes. We just walked up and down the riverbank at Smale Park. Lots of people was down there. You always got folks down there trying to make a buck, making music and stuff like that. It was a great time. Great little after dinner, just jumped in the whip. Sometimes you do that with the family. Or maybe you might want to do that with yourself. You just don't want to be in the house for a minute or two, right? And what I noticed is it was packed. It was packed down. There was a lot of young folks down there, like teenagers. Now, here's the thing about the history of teenagers in Cincinnati, especially black teenagers. It goes something like this. This city got a problem with black teenagers. When I was a black teenager, this city had a problem with black teenagers. And I understand it just seems like, knee-jerk reactionary city. We got all these issues that, we know they're issues, but until it makes the headlines, nobody does anything about it. And then when it makes the headlines, everybody wants to overreact. A knee-jerk reaction. Cincinnati, Ohio, aka knee-jerk reactionary city. It's been that way since before I can remember, as long as I can remember. And same thing's happening with this shooting in Smale Park. Number one, shootings can occur anywhere. It doesn't have to be in one geographical area. Sometimes people think that in the city of Cincinnati, you can predict when there's going to be a shooting. depending upon what neighborhood it is. You can't really do that. That don't really work. Sorry. It can happen anywhere. To me, it's about a lot of different things, but most importantly, it's about the mentality of the person that's carrying a gun. It's a whole new attitude out here. Like I said, my uncle used to be in these streets, and he used to tell me stories about how he used to get into fist fights with pistols in his back pocket. Nowadays, dudes get into a fist fight, looks like they starting to lose. They want to pull the pistol out. It's a different mentality. Life is not as sacred to some people as it used to be. Or maybe there's always been people like that. But I think when I read the mayor and John Cranley, who I do not think highly of, what has John Cranley been doing for 8 years? This mofo put out a statement talking about how he was going to get the MAG, right? Which, as I understand it, is a volunteer body of people that come together to work with the city manager, right? It's like the city manager's advisory group. He said he was going to direct them to come up with some solutions. And as I read it, I thought to myself, what in the hell have you been doing, John Cranley? Oh, I know. He's been kissing FC Cincinnati tail. He don't have no time left, no bandwidth left. He's been so caught up with that project. Oh, that's right. And anti-corruption. What did he do with the corruption? We're going to have a blue ribbon committee. I'm telling you, I don't know what John Cranley has been doing for 8 years. I have no idea. I don't know what this man, he's running for governor, right? I don't know what he's going to use to say as to why we should vote for him. That's going to be a very interesting race for me. A spineless Republican and a penisless Democrat. It's like, choose your poison. Either we can stick with the spineless Mike DeWine, sucker MC Republican governor, or we want to go with a spineless white male Democrat who, I guess at some point, will be the former mayor of Cincinnati. I mean, spineless or penisless, which is it? What would you choose, ladies? What kind of man you want in your life? Spineless or penisless? That will be the next, or at least two of the choices in the gubernatorial race here in Ohio. I ain't looking forward to it. But what in the hell has John Cranley been doing for 8 years? Talking about he's going to direct the MAG, which is an advisory group for the city manager, to come up with a plan. That's what your ass should have been doing. When you was running around here at all these blue ribbon, cutting the ribbons and with the shovels for FC Cincinnati Stadium, you should have been working on that, John Cranley. At least part of your day, but he was not. He was not. You got to remember, under John Cranley's administration, I am struggling to figure out what his superlatives are. I don't know. I swear to you when I say that, I don't know what this man has been doing. He sure didn't lift anybody out of poverty, that's for sure. Maybe if he had been focusing on lifting those 5,000 families out of poverty, as he said he was going to do when he was campaigning and during his first year, right? That's what the lies he told us to get people to vote for him for a second term. Maybe if he had been doing that work, then that work would have had some measurable gains and we would see an impact in terms of gun violence. Now, that might be fair. That might be unfair. It's at least interesting, right? So it's still at least a compelling question. 513-873-7134. What has he been doing? Nothing. Just lining up development deals for, I don't know, for his friends, for his campaign donors. That's about it. That's what it feels like to me. What do you think? 513-873-7134. I want to get your thoughts about it. The reason why Cincinnati continues to fail in reducing gun violence is because, and again, this ain't rocket science. It's so simple. It's a couple reasons. Number one, and let's be real here, there's a lot of people with a lot of sway in Cincinnati. There's a lot of people with a lot of cash and a lot of influence in Cincinnati. And not enough of them care about it to really push the buttons that they have in front of them to make something happen. That's the truth. People care way more about the Reds and the Bengals than they do gun violence. People care way more about where they're going to get their next beer than they do gun violence. It's the truth. It is what it is. That is a part of it. Now, I'm not saying everybody, because obviously we know there's people that hit the alarm. They hit the alarm every single time. And yes, I know the cam is not about put up in a second. I know it's people out there that hit the alarm. All right. All I'm saying is what's happening in Cincinnati. It's being widely reported that, man, there was mass shootings all over the holiday weekend. Jerome writes, over 140 people killed over the holiday weekend by guns in the U.S. Why? Well, part of that is we're coming out of COVID. And what I mean by that is all of the issues we had pre-COVID were just exacerbated with COVID, and now we coming out of COVID. We ain't changed. COVID didn't change most of us. For most of us, we the same old people. Nothing changed. Same old issues. It just exacerbated it, made it worse. Made it much worse in some cases. All right. It's the truth. The other issue is that we misdiagnose a lot of stuff in Cincinnati, and we don't really focus on the root causes of these issues for enough of a length of time. We don't have enough of an enduring movement of people focusing on the root causes for enough of a length of time. I'm gonna tell you one. There's a brother out there, man, who's 100% on point with this. He is so on point. I hope people listen to him. I'm not saying it's a panacea, but I think that he's talking about some things and raising some issues that the more I think about it, I think he's 100% on. And I'm talking about Ronald Hummins. I'm talking about that brother trying to teach us and raise awareness about the trauma that continues to plague our communities and how it impacts probably every facet of our lives. That's right. The trauma that's happening in the Black community that continues to happen. How is that impacting what we see in the headlines? I think it's having a huge impact. What are we doing around that? Anybody paying attention? I mean, I see him writing op-ed pieces and he'll come on different shows and talk about it here and there. I see him shooting up to the State House. I mean, somebody's paying attention because, he's written a bill. He's working with some people on the state level, but I just don't hear enough energy around it for what I think makes a lot of sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. The trauma. We're looking at trauma. The brother is 100% on point. Oh, this senseless violence. No, it's trauma. Getting played out over and over again. Somebody's calling me from a 218 number. Hold on 258 number. Hold on 1 second. Let me finish this. I want to post this. Okay, there it is. So that 258 number, call me back. I'll put you straight on. And yes, I do know that the cam is not on right now. I do know that. So if you're calling me to say, Nate, we can't see you, I know the cam's not up yet. I got to make a quick wardrobe change. Wardrobe change. Sometimes you do that in radio, digital media, radio. Good morning to you. How was your weekend? What did you do? Did you barbecue? You stepped out with the family? What'd you do exactly? I'd love to hear it. Love to hear your plans. You can drop a comment for me. You spend some time with family? Okay, well, cool then. That's what I did too. Yeah, spending time with family means everything. I keep telling people, man, listen, when you have a near-death experience, it changes. You're going to get sick of me talking about it because I'm going to keep doing this until I touch people. When you have a near-death experience, it kind of changes your priorities. It makes you look at things a little bit differently. That's how it's done for me now. So I take time to smell the roses. I give people their flowers right now. And I'm not going to say I'm more chill because that would be a lie. Okay. But I'm just much more appreciative. I can put it that way. Good morning to you. You can see I haven't shaved. We got in yesterday. I didn't feel like shaving. Give me some latitude. Give me some peace. Can I live? Damn it. Good morning to you. A 258 number was calling me. Call me back. and I'll try to put you on. We should be on Spreaker. What's up, Spreaker family? What up? What up? Brenda writes, happy Tuesday. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. CG Dub writes, good morning, Choppers. Yeah, I was in Cleveland until about 6 this morning. I drove back. You know how it is. Always a competition with the wifey. She drove up the majority of the way. I had to come back in record time. Yeah. So it took you 4.5. I did it in 3.5, maybe 3 hours, 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Gotta know what you're doing on these roads here. And I do. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Let's go straight to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hey, good morning, Conrad. Hold on one second, brother. Let me make sure I get you all plugged all the way in with my sophisticated equipment. Let me see here. Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How was your holiday?
It was great. I had a great time. How about yourself, brother?
That's good. It was fun.
Good.
Had a lot of fun with the all middle and family.
Good to hear. Good to hear. What's on
Yes,
your mind,
sir.
Black Russia?
Well, look, I think your topic is timely. You're asking why Cincinnati can't reduce gun violence. I know you made a few points, and you did make a broader point too. That this is not just Cincinnati. This is happening across the nation. Like Chicago's on fire. Like it was on fire all weekend, from what I understand. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but a lot of shootings going on here in urban America. Speaking of Cincinnati specifically, I know Drop tried to tell you, I guess a week or over the last couple of weeks, Drop was trying to explain to you why this is happening. I think he was on point early, and I think he needs credit.
What?
Although he's no longer a member of the alt middle as an affiliate, you got to give credit where credit is due.
Credit for what?
Basically, and well, hold on. Let me finish it up. Yeah, Drop was ahead of the game. Absolutely. And not to mention, you continue to ignore the words of Joe Dieters. Because I know I sent you an article and I dropped it in the Chop a few times on YouTube, and you said nothing about it. Look, Joe Dieters told you why this is happening. Because people are getting out on low-level bonds for high-level crime. Like the guy at David Buster's, just by example, okay? That guy at David Buster's had already had a gun charge, right? He was on probation for it. Then he turns around, he catches another gun charge. Guess where? At Dave & Buster's, right? So then he gets another bond, right? And then turns around and he shoots somebody where? At Dave & Buster's. While he's on bond and he picked up a new felony, all right? Same thing with what's going on down here in the city of Cincinnati. The reality is the 16-year-old, 19-year-old had ongoing beef. And they went OK Corral at Smale Park. They just dedicated a statue of Marion Spencer at Smale Park this last week. And here we are the following week after they honor a civil rights icon at that park. We got 2 kids dead shooting at each other and 3, young African-American women, I presume, who are injured. I mean, this is based upon what Joe Dieters said. Joe Dieters said that these judges down here at Hamilton County Court of Common Pleas, they're lacking the wisdom to make sure that people who have gun charges and who are involved in this activity don't get bonds, don't get reasonable bonds anyway.
I hate it. I hate it when I hear it, man.
But then he's right though. But Joe Dieters is right on this one. I mean, every dog has his day.
I hate it when I hear black men being gullible.
What you mean gullible?
You being gullible.
This is the facts, bro.
You believe that?
I'm not gullible.
Because
I'm
Joe
reading
Dieters
it.
said that, you
I don't believe
that?
anything.
Don't be so gullible, dude. Don't you know that ain't nothing more than local politics? He's just saying that about the whole new slate of new Democrat judges down there. So he's trying to make a political point, and you falling right into it. Stop being so damn gullible.
They're trash.
Damn.
Bro, they're trash. They're trash, bro. They're
Stop
trash.
being gullible, man. Show me some numbers, then. Show me some numbers.
I'll send you the cases, bro. There's case after case.
No, I need to see an analysis.
These Democratic judges.
I need to see a statistical analysis. I need to see statistical trends to back up this political argument. Stop being so
You
gullible,
have to get
man.
that. Joe Dieters got the numbers. Joe Dieters got the numbers. You can make a public records request and get the numbers yourself.
Got the numbers, all right.
He got the numbers.
Sure he does.
But see, you want to play politics. There's no politics with black life, bro. You
It's
want to play
all
politics with
politics.
black
Joe
life. It's just
Dieters is
ain't.
a Hamilton County Republican. Everybody know don't you know he's deep in the Republican Party? Don't you know that?
Oh, he's the OG.
He's an OG. So don't you know all this is a way for him to criticize the new wave of recently elected Democrat judges? Don't you see that?
That's irrelevant to the
It's
point
not
of
irrelevant. That's the
judges
whole reason why he's
letting
doing it, man.
out
Stop being so
people
damn
with
gullible.
guns, bro. Look, no, you playing politics. I'm
Gullible's
talking about black
Travels.
lives
That should be the name of
black
your
lives matter,
autobiography.
bro. Black lives matter no matter who takes these lives, bro. Joe Dieters is right. You have Trump was right too. You have to acknowledge that. If you just read the newspaper, if you just
wasn't right
read,
about
bro,
a
just
damn
read
thing.
something.
Danita called in and
Just
ran him
read
all the
something.
way down. He was wrong on every case. He wasn't right about nothing. What are you talking about?
Bro, you need to read, bro.
I need to read.
You really need to read.
Well, then send
Yes,
me
you
the
do.
analysis, brother, and I will read it.
So I'm going to send you. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you articles. The analysis
I don't want the article. I've already seen those articles. I'm looking for a statistical analysis.
You have to get it from the government, bro.
What Joe Dieters is claiming. One case don't make proof. Show me the statistical analysis, and then I will say he's right. Until then, stop being so gullible, man.
There's multiple cases out here. If you're really interested, if you don't want to be intellectually lazy, go ahead and make the public record request and see about the people who are getting out on low-level bonds, who are committing high-level crimes.
Wait a minute. Shouldn't you have done that before you called in here making these claims like they facts? You should have done it. You should have did your homework first.
I'm reading the news. I'm reading the news like everybody else is, bro. And Joe Dieters is right. These judges down here are incompetent, bro. They're giving out low-level bonds to people who are having guns out here. That is what's going on.
I don't know what Joe Dieters got on you, man. Why don't you go ahead and just get his name tattooed on your backside?
All I can tell you is that these judges are trash. They're trash, bro.
Sure they are.
They're trash.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it one bit,
you ain't
man.
Got to.
I am disappointed in you, man. I'm disappointed. Step your game up, bro. Calling here with this gullible ish. Anything else?
Man, game one's tonight. I can't wait.
That is right. Man, you're right about that. That's gonna be fun. Who you rooting for?
That's gonna be real fun. You know what? I'm rooting for the look. If I have any rooting interest, I'm betting on black. So I'm going with the Phoenix Suns. They got James Jones. Remember James Jones with the Heat?
I do.
When he won with LeBron.
Yep.
Yeah, he the director of basketball operations for the Suns. Then they got the black coach, the head coach.
Right.
And they got Chris Paul.
Right.
You know, they got DeAndre Ayton. They got the boy Devin Booker. I'm going to say Suns in 5.
I'm going Suns too for all those same reasons. Yep. Yeah, we agree on that though. I'm going with them too. I want the black head coach to get him one. I want Chris Paul to get him one. The black executive, I want him to get one too. I'm rooting for the Phoenix Suns, man. We'll see what happens. It should be a lot of fun.
It will be. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But hey, don't count out the Bucks because I think these guys right here, they're hungry. They've been getting criticized for years now. You know what I'm saying? They should have been in the finals probably the last couple of years, at least once. Mm-hmm. So here they are. So we're gonna see how big Giannis with that big money. He got that big money too. We're gonna see if he's gonna cash in. If it was worth like $200 million he got.
Yeah, they talking about he might not come back to like game 3 or 4 though. It might be too late.
Yeah, yeah. He, people don't understand that hyperextension of a knee. It's gonna cost you a couple of weeks. Like when he did that in the last series against the Hawks, he said he probably play in the finals if they make the finals, but he's done for this series. We'll see if he comes back. But hey, Brooks Lopez off the bench dropped that 33 in that game 5. Mm-hmm. Hey, he's gonna have to continue to do that. Middleton, they got Holiday. I can't wait for this one. It's gonna be some exciting basketball.
It is, man. I wish Giannis was at full strength though, because I like to see the teams at full strength. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure, if I'm Chris Paul, I want to see Giannis I want to beat you at your best. But whatever team is out there is who we're gonna go hard at. But I wish you played from game 1. It just make it more exciting for me. But
true. But hey, the Bucks got there. It was 2-2 with the Hawks, and Giannis didn't play, and guys stepped up off the bench and got them to the finals. So. Hey, we know there ain't no excuses in this, but I agree. I like to see Giannis get in there at some point in time. But look, I think if the Bucks get one game, then home court flips, and so if Giannis come back and they got home court, Giannis ain't got no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be interesting.
Then you got to think if he comes back game 3, his knee it's gonna be like, let's wait and see. There's gonna be trial and error. He might not come back at all, actually, from a hyperextended knee. He might be out for the whole
He might
rest of
not.
the playoffs.
It could be. I mean, if he might give it. It's the NBA Finals. I think he's going to try to give it a go. He just want to see what's going to happen. But I mean, if they want to be smart about it, bring him off the bench. Like kind of play Giannis 6-man type to see how it goes. Give him a few minutes in and out, play him in spurts, and give it the old college try. But we'll see. It's going to be. I'm looking forward to that series. Didn't expect it to be Bucks and Suns, but hey. Here we are. I did expect the Suns to make it though. They were the 2 seed out the West. They had the best overall team, and they got stars. Like young stars too.
Yeah, I like it too. I like that you got 2 teams, 2 fresh faces. You ain't got the same old people there. LeBron's out, Clippers out. I love it. We need some new blood. Anything else,
yeah,
brother?
and well, hey, y'all better let's help out this day tonight. Devin Booker. You ain't seen Devin Booker, superstar.
Oh yeah, he got game. My brother got game. All of them got game at this level, but thank you for the call, brother.
NBA Finals, everybody's playing. All right. Yep, take it easy.
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be a lot of fun. I love it. Man, listen, if I could invest, I wonder if there's a way to invest in the NBA. I would invest in the NBA. I just love basketball. They got a great product. It's a lot of fun. They need more black owners, more conscious black owners in these sports leagues, including the NBA. But yeah, I'm betting on the Phoenix Suns for all those same reasons. Number one, Chris Paul. I want to see Chris Paul get one. He's a dog. Anybody like the NBA, you can't show me somebody that really knows about the NBA, knows the game of basketball, and they hate on Chris Paul. You just can't do it. He a dog. You're a pit bull out there, and you respect that. And then he had so many close runs where he had injury. Remember that game in Houston? It was up like 2-3 games. He got an injury, lost the series. So he's good enough to be a starting point guard on a championship team, and we seeing it right now. They got some ballers down there. So let's say Phoenix wins. What's that mean for next year? That means that the West has won the last 2 championships. The West is loaded. LeBron and them need another star. They need Dame Lillard. They need a third wheel. They need a third wheel with LeBron and AD to really make that goal, to make it work. So we'll see what happens. Lots of fun. And stop being so gullible, man. Listen, Black Russia, when you write your autobiography, I got a title for you. Gullible's Travels. Because you be calling in the last 2 weeks on some gullible shit. Talking about something. Joe Dieters was right. Joe Dieters ain't right about what? You don't see that for what it is. That ain't nothing more than a ploy to try to get people to think down about the success that the local Democrats had in putting in new Democrat judges. To me, I think it's a little too early. For overall, what I'm seeing, I like it. You got the sister down there in drug court making great sense. Nicole Sanders. What's the other sister's name? She kept it. The judges down there keeping it real. Remember when John Cranley instructed the police to crack down on peaceful protesters and basically violated their constitutional rights? Remember that? And the judges looked at it like, oh, this is nonsense, and threw them all out, threw all the cases out. Yeah, that was your mayor. Yeah, part of the reason why Cincinnati continues to fail on reducing gun violence is because we don't have enough strong leadership that really cares about it to make it an enduring issue every single time. Like one thing that I again, I was happy. I'm happy Trump's no longer there. It got brought up over the weekend with the family. I think it was my brother-in-law. He was like, yeah, I miss Trump. I'm like, not me. I'm glad. I got tired of seeing the Trump show. It got lame. But Trump had a single-minded determination about certain things. He would get fixated on a certain issue, and it wouldn't matter where he was or what he was supposed to be talking about, and he would keep bringing it up. We need that from city leadership when it comes to gun violence. We need for our city leaders, our mayor, to be talking about these issues with a single-minded determination, no matter what the scenario. Anytime they get in front of a microphone, they need to be talking about it and keep pressing that issue and set the standard on it. So it's multiple reasons why Cincinnati continues to fail in reducing gun violence. Number one, I mean, it's we don't deal. Number one, the people that's really got the sway in the city, the people that can, it's some people in this city that can make phone calls and get it done. They get it done. There's some people that can make a phone call and bring together a coalition like that and make it happen, Captain. Not enough of those people are doing that when it comes to gun violence. It's the truth. The second issue is that we still continue to fail to have an enduring conversation and movement about the root causes. We get on it for a little while, and then, oh, they got a new offensive tackle for the Bengals? Oh, Bengals, Joe Burrow. We forget. I'm just telling you. Gun violence is not a priority for most people that live in Cincinnati until they become a victim of it, or there's a headline, or it happens close to them. Then everybody on top of it. Most people in Cincinnati care way more about where they're getting their next cheese coney, when they're getting their next cheese coney, than they do about the gun violence. It's the truth. It's the truth. I'm not putting it all there. The other reason why is across the country, everybody's failing with this because gun violence is steeped into Americana. It's a part of American culture. How was this country founded? I'll wait. How were these territories and state lines carved out? How'd they do it? Gun violence, gunpowder. Trump said China. I'll say gunpowder. That's how. In America, that's how we deal with conflict. Gunpowder, bullets, violence. Oh, you're not going to give it to? I'm going to take it from you. We've been doing that. This ain't nothing new for us. That's how this whole thing got started, how we keep it going. The greatest generation, why is it called that? What happened? So, I mean, some of this is just into our fiber, into our being. It's the idea that you can solve issues with violence. That's in us. This is so deeply ingrained in us that there's a time to kill, right? And there is. We all know it's a time for everything. It's a time to get blizzy out here. But some people have really extended that to car accidents. I seen a video over the weekend where this dude was basically road raging. Somebody backed into his car. He chased this dude down the street and then shot him through the car. And I'm thinking to myself, how does that get your car fixed? How does that get your car fixed? Because you chase this man down and then shoot him in the leg through the window on some Tupac-ish. How does that get your car fixed? Like if you were in my car, I'm outraged that my car is now damaged. I want my car fixed. But that's just me. Let me go back to the phones. Your phone calls are my priority. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Danita. I'm doing well. Welcome.
I hope you had a great weekend. The Thomas family did hosted the barbecue and family came over. We had a great time.
I'm glad to hear that. What's on your mind this morning, sis?
So, of course, when Black Russia starts spouting off court cases, you know me, I'm going to start looking it up. So, the first problem that I have with what he was stating with the shooting at Dave & Buster's, it's not the same equivalent as what Drop was saying, because Drop was trying to hit how people are trying to get rid of cash bond, right? This guy had a bond. So not the same thing. And it's my understanding that when a judge is looking at whether or not to give a defendant a bond, they're going to look at the criminal history. Am I right on that, Nate?
I believe you're correct.
Okay. So, you know, in Hamilton County, you can just look at a person's criminal record yourself. You can just go on right on the clerk of court. So, in a newspaper article, they gave the guy's name. I went on, see his birth date because you can see the criminal case. Guess what the guy had before he was charged with the first gun charge? Nothing but traffic stuff. So I'm not saying that this guy had never done anything before, but the guy had never been arrested for it before. So the judge is going to look at his criminal history to decide if this guy should get a bond and whether or not it should be a high bond or not. So if I were the judge and I pull up this guy who doesn't seem to have anything except traffic, even though it was a gun charge, why would the judge not give him a bond? The guy had never been in trouble before. But this is the things that Joe Dieters is not going to bring up. This is the things that you're not going to see in the newspaper because, as you said, they want to frame it that now this is the OK corral since Democrats are now in charge. And, oh, Lord, this is Joe Biden's America. It's the Armageddon, people. Come on, we got to be smarter than that. And again, we don't want people overcharged with high bonds who don't have criminal histories. Are people going to slip through the cracks? Yes, they are. But you don't want somebody without a strong criminal history being held in jail, and this is their first time offense. So, Black Russia, next time before you get on here about Joe Dieters and drop is right, make sure you do your research first. There's a reason why this guy did, and he did have a bond, but he was given a bond because he only had traffic stuff on his record. That's all I got, Nate. Got to do some research before you get on here talking.
I appreciate the call. Danita is not joking. Like she said, you got to do your research. I hadn't even done that. But I'm telling you off the top, when I saw Joe Dieters out there talking about that, I'm like, oh, this is politics. She said it so eloquently. They want to make it seem like Joe Biden's America is like the OK Corral. These liberal judges just letting criminals go. You have to be gullible to believe that. And we're not gullible here on the net. The choppers are not gullible. We might be a lot of things, but we ain't gullible. we can read, and we can read between the lines. Very well said. What's up with Black Russia these last 2 weeks, man? Your game is not good, bruh. Step your game up. Step your game up. Talking about some Joe Dieters is right. Get the yeah, right. Sure he is. Here we go again. I'm talking about Smale Park. So just a little before 11 p.m. on the 4th of July, 5 people were shot at Smale Park. Police said that the scene was along Marion Way at the Banks. Colonel Lisa Davis, I'm reading from a Cincinnati.com article, said that, quote, 400 to 500 teenagers were at Smale Park at the time of the incident. The park was busy the entire day. Oh, boy. Ooh, 400 to 500 teenagers. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Oh, the teenagers are coming. We've been doing this with teenagers, primarily Black teenagers, since I was a kid, since I was a teenager. Every time there's a shooting, or number one, there's going to be shootings, there's going to be violence. Our mentality is messed up. Drugs are too plentiful and guns are too plentiful to stop it. Let's just be real with it off the top right there. Number one, the mentality of too many Americans is jacked up. That's number one. Drugs are too readily available. That's number two. And guns are too readily available. As long as you have that unholy triumvirate of elements coming together, it's going to happen. Ain't never gonna stop. It's gonna happen in a white community. It's gonna happen in the suburbs. It's gonna happen on the banks. It's gonna happen. But when I read 400 to 500 teenagers, for some people, that's enough to scare the bejesus out of them. Oh, the teenagers. Where are these teenagers coming from? I'm sure what's gonna happen next is people gonna start blaming the family. Right? I saw Christopher Smith put out a statement telling some parents need to know where your kids are. I agree with that. But that ain't going to necessarily stop no shooting because you knowing where your kids are or not. But of course, you should know all the truisms. I love it when these conservative types start to talk that truism stuff, telling the stuff we already know like it's some kind of fantastic. Parents should know where your kids are. I never thought about that. Stop it. Milo Watson, 16, and Dexter Wright, 19, were both killed after exchanging gunfire. 16 years old. My daughter's 16. As a matter of fact, she started her first job today, y'all. Medium Buddha has a job. She got her a nice little job, too. She got her a nice little gig, too. Dressed up today, walking out, going to her first job for the summertime. What in the hell? She in the car. We coming back from Cleveland yesterday, right? She talking about all her plans about what she gonna do with her money now. She said, I got steady income coming in now. I'm like, what? I loves it. My son is going to summer camp today, which I'm nervous as hell about. That boy don't know how to swim. Talking about they going to swim today. He don't know how to swim. He don't know no idea how to swim. So that'll be me. I'm gonna have to creep over to the swimming spot just to make sure he sees daddy. Same thing I did with me and little Buddha. First day at camp, I was like, where they going? I was dad on the bars. Son, I gotta do it. So that's what I'll be doing midday today. I'll be double checking to make sure my son don't drown. You know, it's kind of important. Little things like that. Little things like that. So I got all kind of feelings going on today. Like on one hand, I had a great weekend. I'm feeling like, oh yeah, I got a chance to recharge. I'm back at it today. My daughter's got her first job at 16. Her job way better than the job I had. My first job was McDonald's. Flipping on burgers, man. Making them A1 too. I was making the best quarter cheese pounders, man. The best. Telling you. The best. I was ripping up the best fries. Was making the best shakes. No, I'm serious though. My grill game was pretty dope though. I took pride in it. I took a lot of pride in it. I wanted to make sure that my burgers was A1. Gloves and everything. Super sanitary. Had to make sure my people was right when I'm on the grill. It was fun. It was fun until the racism and discrimination started. Then I was out of there. It's like, what? I can't work on drive-through ever? You mean like ever? I ain't good enough? I don't like this job no more. I was out of there a couple years later. Brother want to step it up. I want to move from the fries to the grill, from the grill. Because what's the best job? The best job is drive-through. That's the best job. Because you're back there by yourself. You're meeting people face to face. They can talk with you. And they had my ass on the grill for years. Not me. But then my son, like I said, he's going to summer camp today. He's in group 1. And they swim today. I'm like, oh, Lord. Haven't taught this boy to swim yet. I know what that means. So that'll be me, camp people. Not a stalker. I'm just his dad. Just making sure he's okay. But back to the phones, 513-873-7134, if you'd like to share your thoughts. Danita misses the fact that DMB, Dave and Buster's guy, caught a new gun charge, and the judge gave a low bond after the first gun charge. So what? Man, listen, I don't blame these judges. Man, I interviewed these judges when they was like a lot of them. These judges ain't out here trying to let no criminals free. I don't believe that one bit. Now, they are, as they pledged, a lot of them. I remember a lot of them said, we're going to look at reforms, and we ain't just trying to bloat the system by locking up a lot of folks. Great. We don't want that. But if you're a judge and you look at somebody's record and you're like, you know what? Here's the bond I'm going to set. And it's a bond that they can actually pay and get out. If that person gets out and commits a crime, that's on the individual, not the judge. I don't believe there's any judge, black, white, Democrat, Republican, independent, or any other political party that's out here trying to let violent criminals free. I just don't believe that. Nobody can tell me that. I don't believe it. I don't care if they black, white, progressive, conservative. There's no judges that's trying to let potential threats to their community into the community. Ain't nobody doing that. No one's doing that. I don't buy any of it. This is just another Republican talking point. Now, you got to remember Black Russia. Black Russia was running around here with a John Cranley Schmedium t-shirt on, talking at the NAACP function, trying to raise hell. I sat right next to the man. My mouth was wide open. I'm like, what in the hell? Now, I'm not saying you can't speak your mind, but you got a John Cranley t-shirt on. He's running against Yvette Simpson. You a black man. You at the NAACP forum, and you trying to raise hell here, bro? You doing that here? I give you points for having chutzpah. But other than that, no, it was a terrible look. You just look terrible. I never forget when I think it was Brother David Whitehead was like, y'all need to go in the hallway. And y'all got y'all ass up and went to the hallway. I remember that. All that tough talk. He was in the hallway like that. It was hilarious. I was sitting right next to you. Remember that? He's like, can you take that in the hallway, please? Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. It was hilarious. Bold Writing writes, there is an influx in gun ownership with the easy access to guns. Still no responsibility to gun sales or tracking system. Not enough mentorship and conversation on conflict resolution, social media drama. And also CPS is failing our kids. Like, if CPS was producing a better quality of high school graduate, I wonder what the impact would be on some of the headlines that we see. Oh, yeah, you thought you was getting out of this CPS? Oh, no, you part of this problem too. If CPS was doing a better job at every single school at producing graduates who had something to look forward to, who had something to work on, to move forward, then maybe we would have some kind of differences in what we see. We got too many failing schools in Cincinnati for it not to be a part of the equation. It's a part of the equation. You got too many black kids that go to CPS schools and deal with the same type of discrimination that they seeing outside the school. Curriculums that don't really attract our kids, teach them the same old dumbish. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, outside of a couple, it's like 2 or 3 schools you can point to. Everything else is like, you can do better. You can do better. Tracy Rice Racker absolutely racked Danita. She was on point. She ain't playing. Danita on point with that fact checking now. She letting y'all know, don't call in. Stay on your game. Stay on your game. Know what you talking about now. Know what you talking about. I appreciate it. T. Lawrence Graston writes, Perez was arrested after pointing a gun at 2 women and pointing their heads at them, according to a document that his bond was set at $5,000 and 10% posted. Like I said, I'm not really worried about all of that. Joe Dieters is a OG in the Republican Party. He's a Grand Master Spengali. He knows how to talk to and how to play Hamilton County. He's been doing it successfully for years. That's part of the reason why he keep getting reelected. He knows what to say and how to say it when it comes to a majority of the electorate here in Hamilton County. And he's still doing it. He's still doing it. Joe Dieters is not a dummy. He is extremely intelligent. He knows what he's saying and how to say it. So he's playing this political game. He wants people to look down on these recently elected Democrat judges like, you know what? We're going to vote on Republicans next time because they're going to throw the book at the criminals and we're not going to see these kinds of headlines. I don't believe it. I don't believe it has anything to do with it whatsoever. Apparently, Milo Watson was an 11th grade student. He went to Princeton City Schools. I'll make sure I put that out there because I was just criticizing CPS, but I want to make sure I put all the information out there. There were other teens that were caught in the crossfire. A 17-year-old girl who was in critical condition after being shot in the back. A 15-year-old boy who was shot in the arm. And a 16-year-old girl who was also suffered gun wounds to her arms. Like I said, man, when people start to pull these guns out, they don't give a damn who's around. It can be kids, it can be young people, it could be handicapped, it could be elderly people, black, white. It makes no difference. That's a mentality. That's a mentality, right? That's I don't give a you know what mentality. That's what that is. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to handle this one right here, right now. Here's a quote. City Councilman Christopher Smitherman, who is vice mayor and chair of Cincinnati's Law and Public Safety Committee, said crowds of young people have become a regular occurrence at night at the Riverfront Park. You know what that means? Crackdown. Crackdown on teenagers. That's one thing that Cincinnati does very well. Cincinnati is really good at cracking down on the locations that teenagers, primarily black teenagers, go to hang out and have some fun. I was a black teenager hanging out on Shortvine. I was just trying to hook up with some honeys. I'm looking for something soft and pretty. That's it. And I used to be out there, you hear the gunshots, we'd be like, damn. Me and all my partners was out there just trying to, talk to ladies, talk to young women or older women, whoever came past. Last thing he was thinking about was popping some shots and shooting somebody because that stops the fun. I don't want to be in a JC. Ain't no women in there. I want to be where the women's at. That's where I want to be at. Where's the women's? The park closed at 10 p.m. Officers were there before gunfire erupted to try to disperse the crowd, he said. More than 50 Cincinnati police officers responded after the gunfire. Officers from other agencies assisted, including from Green Hills Police Department. Now, what in the hell is officers from Green Hills Police Department doing in Cincinnati? Because shouldn't you be out there in Winton Woods or something like that? Don't you got a speed trap to set up right there at that park when you're driving through the wooded area near Winton Woods? The Green Hills Police, they love to be up there in the woods. They got a couple spots, man, right there. You won't even see them go whizzing by. Ticket. Officers from Green Hills Police Department, it must have been a slow night in Green Hills. If you don't get your ass back to Green Hills, we got 1,000 uniform officers. We don't need you from Green Hills. What in the hell? Please stop it. Please stop it. Let me see. Quote, we are 90 officers light right now, but we also need to support the community to support us. 90 officers light? Again, this fallacy that more officers reduce crime just don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Over the last few years, we've had more officers in the Cincinnati police force than ever before. And gun violence continues to be an issue. Maybe we should get ShotSpotter and put that down. Like I said before, ShotSpotter is being used in a very classist and racist way. ShotSpotter is that technology where they put these super fancy listening devices in certain neighborhoods. And when there's gunfire, no one needs to call 911 to alert the police as to where and when there was a shooting. Like the computer, the software will automatically triangulate and pinpoint within what? I don't know, 50 feet? I think it's less than that. And then automatically officers will be sent there. Now, what I have said is that, and it might be expensive, but what's more expensive? Money or loss of human life? I mean, what's the priority? They need to put it everywhere. Do they need to have They need to have ShotSpotter on the banks. That way you get a faster response time. I think they should have it in all the public high schools and elementary schools. That's just me. I know how this city works. The way this city works is you can have the best idea in the world. But because we're a knee-jerk reactionary city, aka Cincinnati, we've got to wait until things go absolutely wrong and to the left before people say, you know what? We should institute that good idea that somebody brought up a long time ago that we all ignored. That's what we do in Cincinnati. We ignore good ideas in lieu of silly ass ideas because on the surface, the silly ass idea sounds better. Yeah, sounds. ShotSpotter ain't stopped a damn thing in this city. Show me the numbers. I don't believe it. I used to argue with PG on this back when we was doing a podcast. I used to argue back and forth. We used to argue back and forth. He used to get so frustrated because I wasn't here for it. He was all in favor of it. I'm like, man, labor for ShotSpotter. I don't believe that nonsense. Show me the money. I don't believe it. Until I see the results, I don't want to hear this nonsense. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. What's going on, Nate?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, this is Ronald Hummons.
Hey, what's up, Ron?
And how you feeling today?
I cannot complain, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Hey, thank you for that piece, man. That you that shout out you sent out, man. That type of awareness alerts, man, really helps the movement, and also, validates the work that we're doing.
I mean it. I told you, brother. I mean it 100%.
Yeah, man. I mean, because this is the crazy part about it, though. So, why are the same legislators? Over the last 4.5 years that I've been trying to push, here locally, and I finally went over the head and went, to a state level. But the same legislators I've been trying to push these plans and ideas to completely and totally have been just dismissed me, said it's not credible, and wanted nothing to do with it. The same ones, right? I'm talking about everybody from, the people that are currently being locked up now, Smitherman, which was really kind of funny when I seen this because they came out with a press conference right after the shootings. And, as well as many other thousands of people that follow me, I've said this a long time ago, that, these children that are underage, that, a lot of crimes they are committing, and I say this, in certain cases, the parents should bear some of the responsibility as far as consequences. So this is one of the things that I actually had started right into my legislation, which is House Bill HCR 14. I started writing it in because I wanted these legislators to understand that, we definitely, the healing part, This is the major part of my legislation, right? This is, I mean, the biggest part of my policy, because this right here will deal with it. See, that's the root. Trauma is the root of every single thing that we're dealing with. So if trauma is the root, then why do we keep getting caught up in these distractions, right? What are the distractions? See, when you kind of, run up under the conscious community, you think a little bit different, right? So I don't get caught up in the distractions. Police reform. Yeah, it sounds good. And I think, people like Iris Rowley, and others have done a lot of work and some great work and, trying to make some changes there. But this is the thing. Why not deal with the issues that's causing the confrontation with the police? See, that's where my work comes in at. But yet it's been dismissed by Jeff Pastor, by man, I go down the name of the list. All the city council have told me they won't meet with me. They wanted nothing to do with any information. I've tried to email them. The same thing at the health department. I'm like, wait a minute. I literally have the only idea, a working idea, and the only idea and the only plan to resolve these issues that we're dealing with, because I'm dealing with the root of it. And you all don't think that these are ideas that you should be listening to? And while all of a sudden now, Chris Milliman goes on, has a press conference and says, I feel we need to also, look into the parents of children committing crimes. They got to say this a long time ago. This ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? But when I said it, though, it wasn't valid. Why is currently now going on press conference saying that the issues that our children are dealing with started way before they were born? Nigga, I said that a long time ago. This shit ain't nothing new. So now all of a sudden you all want to not only try to cherry pick from my ideas that I've been trying to push to you for the longest now. Not only are you cherry picking, you also using the same language that I've been using. I mean, I went down there and did a one man stand down at that city hall 2 years ago before COVID hit by myself. And I put signs all over the wall. I figured if I'm going to be down there by myself, I'm going to be dramatic about this shit. So I put signs up on the door of City Hall saying in the food deserts, and a lot of information about how you can't talk mental health, you can't talk trauma without talking nutrition, and how it's all connected. So I actually put signs on the doors, take them up on the doors down at City Hall. And still, nobody wanted to talk about it. Why? Probably maybe 3 weeks later, the news did a story on Sealback, and he literally said, we need to end the food deserts. Nigga, like, this shit ain't nothing new. I've been pushing these ideas. Matter of fact, not pushing them. I'm the one that actually invented a lot of these ideas, not just the ideas, but also the movement, not just the movement, but also the implementation. So what are we missing here? Why now are you all trying to loop back around and now saying, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, yeah, this seems to be the only idea that we have. So let's just cherry pick from it. Let's also use some of his language, but let's make sure that we keep him out the loop. But I'm going to tell you the dangerous thing about that is, though, right? Because you can't implement the plan without implement the implementation that goes with it. That part they don't understand. Because, if they let's say if on a local level they did try to include, parents being parents of children committing crimes, also being, looped into that can be dangerous for us even more. That's the reason why, like I said, these idiots now, Smitherman, our mayor, and the other council are really for as stupid as hell to keep trying to keep me out the loop, but want to keep trying to steal from my plan. Because if you try to implement that now, then you got fathers out here that have been trying for years to be a part of their children's life. I mean, this is the facts. You got fathers out here, man, that fight hard to be in their children's lives. You got a lot of really toxic co-parenting relationships out here that prevent, a lot of fathers from being in their lives. And the kids get caught up in a lot of mess, unfortunately. Like these are subjects that actually need to be talked about, because this is stuff that I've talked to the legislators on a state level and helping them understand. I don't just want that just to be a broad, a policy to where it just affects everybody. It needs to be understood that, in some cases, you just have a lot of people out here, man, that are, they're so stuck on toxic relationships, co-parenting relationships where they aren't raising their children together. But then you have some where, mom is in the club at night, daddy out on the street. And for real, they don't give a fuck where little Thomas is at. Little Thomas, I grew up downtown. But I know for a fact, like anybody that's listened to my voice knows as well, man, 10, 11 years old kids walking around late at night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, walking around on the streets by themselves at night, talking like some little younger, like a little young grown up, acting like a little young grown up, 10, 11 years old. So that was something that I had put into the bill, was that it's no way in the world these kids at this young age as they are out here getting into a lot of these, the crimes that are being committed, and the parents they don't have a clue where their children is at. So if they know, you know what, I know if little Willie gonna go out here and he shoots somebody, he's 15 years old, he goes out and shoots somebody, and I know the people he's hanging with are toxic. I know the community he's in is toxic, and I'm letting him go run the streets by himself. If he commits a crime, guess what? I'm gonna be more up on that ass, because if he commits a crime, it's gonna fall back on me. So now we're starting to really just enhance, the ability to start really parenting their children, for the legislators to start breaking these laws down to allow fathers to be in their children's life. Because like I've always said from day one, my fight has never been against the police. Never. Me personally, I don't have an issue with the police. These motherfuckers wake up every day, go to work, try to make their little chips so they can take care of their family. Hey, man, listen, get your money. But my problem was with the police, when Officer Kim and my son, the day that they died. My problem was never there. My problem was with policy. So this is, and this has been my issue since day one. Our policies that are designed to protect our children, they failed Trey Pierre Hummon. See, I filed for custody twice for Trey Pierre. My son, Pierre personally. I mean, the kid, man, graduated from Walnut Hills with honors. He's the only black student at Walnut Hills inducted cum laude. He's a part of the National Society of High School Scholars. 4.7 grade point average. I mean, I can go down the list of how excellent this kid is. And me and his mom, we did that. That was Team Hummon's work right there. So we understand the benefits of a healthy co-parenting relationship. But see, I also understand the blueprint of a toxic co-parenting relationship, because I fought hard to be in Trey Pierre's life. I filed for custody. I used all the resources that I thought that I could to protect my son from being in a drug-infested, alcoholic, abusive, child abusive, domestic violence-filled home. I mean, everything you can think of that's going to create all of the elements to create a child, man, to live a life of PTSD and depression. So I did my part in trying to protect them from that. Our system didn't care about the fact that I filed for custody twice. The system didn't care about the fact that his mom had over 22 Child Protective Services cases on her. Nobody cared about none of that shit then. But now all of a sudden it's all about, let's shut Ronald Hummus down. The media doesn't want to cover the work that I'm doing, at least here in Cincinnati. In Columbus, they will. But here they try to blacklist me, whatever they call that shit. You're literally the only one that actually that have a huge platform that gives the exposure that's needed. Our black NAACP, they don't have anything to do with this movement. But yet they'll jump on board with a police reform or some other shit, but they won't put their name in their faces ahead on this movement and say we want to be a part of this and pushing this. Or closing the health gap, they should have been the one that actually created this movement to begin with. They got the funding. They got the organization. They got everything that's needed to push a movement like this. They should have been doing this. Not a single man, one fucking man, Ronald Hummons, out doing a hunger strike on the steps of the State House when not one of these religious leaders, not one. I'll tell you, the only religious leader, and I don't even consider him to say, or call him a religious leader, because this man is a leader, just in my opinion, in a lot of different ways. And he's been supportive, like nobody in Cincinnati have as far as on a political level. And that's Winburn. I mean, he's not only just invested his time, he's also invested his dollars, his ideas, and a lot of other things. So, but it's like, wait a minute. Now, one religious leader at all these churches when around here talking about lay hands and heal, man, listen, get the fuck out here, stand with me in December when it's cold out here in Columbus at the State House, push his movement. So just to let your listeners know, the bill is called HCR 14. It's to make Ohio the first state to declare a state of emergency on childhood trauma. Right now, our legislators are on recess. But when they get back, it's going to go through a vote in the committee. It's in the mental health committee. We already have the votes in the mental health committee for it to pass there. So once it goes through there and we get our 3 hearings there, then next it goes into the House to be voted on. We already have more than enough votes. Republican so my bill is actually sponsored. My primary sponsor is Tom. You met Tom Brinkman. Tom Brinkman, a Republican, a conservative, that thought that this was so important that he wanted to make this part of his legacy. But Cecil Thomas, I can't get none of these other black legislators to say, hey, we want to put so Cedric Denson, I take that back. He's the other sponsor on this bill as well. Him and Tom are doing this together. But there should be so many black people, black faces, black people with platforms and resources to be standing up with this bill as well. Be standing up with me. Because guess what? They all loved me before June 19th, 2015. I got the letters from Cecil Thomas. I got the letters from my ex-mayor, Mallory. I got the letters from Nikita Carr. I got the letters from all of them, from our ex-governors. I got letters, man, from Portland, everybody saying, thank you for the work that you've done. I got letters from the police department, to use my film
But I produced my film called Think, Think. It's all lowercase letters. And the film I produced, man, years ago to help kids and young adults build critical decision making skills. The police department uses my film. Our school districts and the Hamilton County Juvenile Probation use my film and use my curriculum. But yet they wouldn't allow me to be able to save my own child that could have prevented all of this shit that, that I've gone through since the death of my son. So now, okay, you know what? Fuck all that. I'm not tripping off all that. Right now, it's about a movement. The movement is we need to deal with the root of the issue. Childhood trauma is the root. There is no other root. There are no other elements. That's it. So instead of getting distracted, because think about all the and I'm gonna get off here because I know you get long callers on here, but I'm gonna tell people this, man, for real. When you really understand consciousness, you start to eliminate a lot of the bullshit, right? So we got Black Lives Matter. They had millions of so-called police activists, right? Everybody wants to be a fucking police activist now. We got guys walking down the street in suits talking about, hands raised, talking about, raise your hands in the suits. Like, nobody gives a shit about that. These movements aren't creating none whatsoever. They aren't creating anything that we need, man, that will be in the form of tangibles. Like, none of it. So stop getting caught up on the distractions. That fucking mural is not giving us any tangibles. I have actual literal policy, legislation that will actually do it, that addresses the root of the issue. So that's what we need to get to. And stop getting caught up because we got too many damn police people out here talking about fighting for police reform. See, that's a distraction that people that are in the conscious community understand. That's a distraction that wasn't created by us. It was created by white people. White people understand distractions, and they're like, okay, we're going to create these distractions. We're going to give it to black people, so now they can focus all their energies and resources on that and all their fight on that. But we're going to make sure they stay away from the root. See, we own the private prisons. We're the one that needs that trauma to fuel our economy. So let's give these black people, let's give them BLM. Let's invest $30 million into BLM. Let's give them all of this shit. They got millions of activists out here. They got all these big profile names, millions of dollars, huge organization, all these marches. But y'all motherfuckers can't get not one piece of legislation done. How was that? Out of millions of people. But then you got my small team of 5 people, and we got major legislation right now on the state level. Tried to do it on the local level, but they didn't want to hear shit. So we took it on the state level and actually getting ready to get voted on and get voted and signed into law in August. How was that with 5 people? But with millions of people out here talking about they fight for police reform, they can't get shit done. Like I said, distractions, brother. So it was good talking to you, man, like always.
Yeah, for sure, brother. I appreciate you and the work you're doing, man. Let us know what's going on.
Man, I definitely will. Take care.
Yeah, that's Ron Hummins. Yeah, I just let him flow, man, because I thought that the brother was on point. It's very timely. Like, why Cincinnati continues to fail at reducing gun violence, we're not focused and committed in an enduring way when it comes to dealing with the root issues. There is no panacea. There is no quick fix. This is a generational thing. It's a mentality thing, but we got to start with the root. Start with the root, and we ain't doing it. I think the root is trauma. That's why I'm glad the brother called in. I didn't know he was going to call in, but I think for those who might have heard him for the first time, I thought it was important to hear the whole story. He ain't new to this. And I just saw it on Facebook. I'm like, what? What's this brother doing? See, I start seeing people posting stuff, little videos from the State House. I start paying attention. Like, let me pay attention to this. I'm looking at it and I'm listening. I'm like, this shit makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And you know me, if it makes sense and you for the community, you always got a spot on any platform, wherever I'm at. Right now I'm here. But that's just, to me, that's why we do this on some levels. We want to have some fun and all that kind of stuff, but we got to have that substance, or at least for me, to help promote people that's out there doing it, help promote them. You know what I'm saying? At the very, very least. And I think, again, I've read through the bill. I am by no means an expert. I paid a lot of attention to it, and the people around him that have crafted. I watched a lot of the videos over the last few years, listened to what they had to say. Sounds like facts on facts on facts on facts on facts. I don't see no problems with it. I think it's something that is long overdue. And that brother is on the cusp of greatness. I'm telling you this again. I don't use words lightly. He is on the cusp of greatness. If he is successful when he's doing, they could set a model for the whole globe. I'm not joking when I say that. The whole globe. And we need it. And we need it. Every time these conversations come up, I don't hear nobody talking about trauma. I don't know about it's a multitude of issues, but that's at the root, and it's really multifaceted. And again, I haven't done the work, so I respect those who have. And if I thought otherwise, I'd tell you. But it seems to me like they spend a lot of smart people spend a lot of time really focusing on it. So I mean, until somebody else come up with something better, let's roll with the best hand we got. So he said that's how they do it in around the world and anywhere. First, they try to ignore you. Then they try to discredit you. Then they try to steal from you. If they can't steal from you, then they try to destroy you. That's how it works. First, they try to ignore you. Then they try to discredit you. Then they try to steal from you. And they can't steal from you, then they try to destroy you. That's how it works. So that's what they're going through with this brother. And that tragic situation that happened with his son ain't his fault. I don't get it. I really don't. I still to this day don't understand it. I think some of these politicians, to me, how you gonna be mad at the father for what the son did, and you know it was just a bad background situation, but Ron Hummons has become a target because of what happened with his son and Sonny Kim. I don't get it. I don't understand it. That, to me, that's not the way you honor Sonny Kim. That's not how you honor Sonny Kim. It's taking out on his father. That don't make no sense to me. I don't understand it. But that's what's happening. And so because local politicians kiss so much ass, including from the police union, they're afraid. I think this is my opinion now. I don't have any evidence, but I wonder if part of the reason why some politicians won't break bread with this brother and recognize him and support him is because of the history that happened between his son and Sonny Kim and the negative attitudes that some people may have in the police department. But what I will say again is, how does that honor Sonny Kim? Wouldn't the best way to honor Sonny Kim would be to embrace what this brother is saying, because it might lead to a better community? That's how I would look at it. But again, maybe I look at things a little bit differently. I don't know. Maybe I do. 513-873-7134. Jordan writes, CPS in the city of Cincinnati don't collaborate enough. I just need CPS to do better. They can do better. They need to be better than where they are now in terms of how they're dealing with the black students. Let's start right there. There was a new study that came out, an analysis that was done. I've reached out to the authors and hopefully can bring them on the show here either this week or next week to break down the analysis. And what they found is, and they were using some older, and again, maybe this was the most recent information they had, but what they found is that CPS is not producing black students who are prepared to win in college. It ain't the graduation rate. It's what happens after graduation. Are these kids graduating CPS and then going on to be successful in college? And this analysis, and again, I don't have it in front of me, that's why I'm speaking very generically, says no. But I reached out to the authors and I hope to have them on this week or next. I'll let you know. And then they can break it all down way better than I can. Black kids are being overly disciplined. That comes from an analysis that was done by the ACLU and the Young Activist Coalition. Remember, they came on the show a couple months ago and broke it all down for us? Come on now. Y'all got a great cheese pizza and a great chicken patty. Bring the game up academically with the students in all of the schools, not just a few here and there, all of them. We got to raise our game. We got to demand something more. I heard some good things about TNA. What's the new superintendent? TNA is her first name, is it? I don't want to mangle her last name, but I've heard some good things about the new superintendent from a credible source, from a very credible source. So we shall see. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, Fame. Welcome, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. And, every time you open this mic, we are enriched and ennobled by your words and presence. However, who was that? Danita called in attacking the brethren?
No, she didn't attack anybody, but she did call in. She set the record straight.
Set what record straight? What record did she set straight? Was it a 45 or a 33?
Neither. It was the false records that your brethren was putting out there, Black Russia. She
Because
set
it was
that record straight.
because I heard whackness. I heard whackness talking about some. Yeah, they do a criminal background check on a defendant before they give him bail, and if he ain't got a bad record, he ain't gonna get a high bail. Hey, Donita, and everybody else who agreed with that nonsense. There's an exception to every rule. There are people walking around here with 6 fingers and toes, for crying out loud. And a gun charge would be an exception to the rule. You catch a gun charge, I'm a judge. I'm busting you on bail. I'm busting you on that. I'm getting you. I'm sorry. Gun charge, child rapist. Those are the qualifiers. Those are the exceptions to the rule of bail. Dave and Buster's homie shouldn't have been out on the street. I don't think that's hindsight 2020. He shouldn't have been out on the street. And these 2 kids yesterday, I mean, yeah, one of them was 19. He's still a kid. I mean, he's young enough to be my son. You know, and based on chop conversation, apparently one of them was related to one of the decedents. However, I have, no disrespect, but I mean, the lack of regard for human life. Joe Dieters ain't got nothing to do with that. You out there shooting in a crowd of 500 people, 500 people in a crowd, and it was at night. Because I was downtown when I saw the cops start flying toward the river. You know, they're going down all those one-way streets. I'm like, oh, something happened down there. You know, it was obvious. Like I said, you see the cops flying to it. Yeah, I don't know. How can you be so callous about human life? Shooting at each other in the dark at that crowded of an event. There's families down there, people, with their kids, they just want to watch fireworks. What the hell y'all mad about? That you want to shoot each other and disrupt everybody's evening. You understand? What's that about? That ain't got nothing to do with Joe Dieters and his policies and his tough talk, his harsh grammar. That ain't got nothing to do with none of that.
Tell your brethren.
I'm sorry?
I said you should tell Black Russia that. He's the person who brought up Joe Dieters. It wasn't me. He brought him up.
No, somebody else tried to dispel all that. I'm saying with Joe Dieters, I don't have a problem with nothing he's saying. We're going to have to eat this one, as a community, because that shouldn't have happened. We done shot up the damn Peace Bowl, a little kid's football game. We shot it up. And other events, and now this. Come on now. This ain't a damn video game. This ain't Call of Duty where you shoot the dude in the head, you see the blood splatter, and then he responds in 5 seconds. No, this is real life. You don't come back from bullets to the head. This ain't no damn Konami video game. I don't know why these kids thinking that 50 Cent had a generation of kids thinking bullets don't kill people. No, 50's the exception to the rule. He was lucky. Chances are you get shot 9 times, we'll holler at you on Thursday at your funeral. You understand? So yeah, I'm pretty disgusted by that, and that you try to use Joe Dieters, your disdain, your natural disdain for Joe Dieters, to cover up a societal failure. We failed those kids as a community. That they would be that ignorant to go downtown and start shooting at each other in a crowd of people in the dark. That's on us. Got nothing to do with Joe Dieters.
How did you fail those kids? I'm talking about just you, because you said we, which includes you. I'm curious, Fame. How did you fail those kids?
Apparently coming on these records, talking slick and greasy, they not reaching the message ain't getting to them. Maybe I need to change the approach. I feel like I failed those kids. Because no matter what, we as a black community are going to be judged by those actions. the black community, is the only community that gets judged by the action of the kids. So they're always talking about rap music and whatnot. But this one is just too sad. Like, no, man. We got to take some responsibility for that.
Well, make sure you do better
How does a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old have any beef anyway? What the hell y'all mad at each other about? When I was 19, I cut off everybody that wasn't graduated from high school. I had no use for you. Because when I was 19, I was looking for the hookup on the beer. Who's got the fake ID hookup? You know what I'm saying? Or what store we know where a clerk is, quote unquote, cool. You know what I'm saying? A high school student can't do that for me. This 16-year-old, he's so far off the porch, he's beefing with grown men, legal adults. Like, what's going on here? That's all I'm saying, B. And as far as the Brethren mentioned the hoop finals, yeah, I got to go with Chris Paul. But I tell you right now, as your sports betting expert, if you want value in a pick, take DeAndre Ayton to be the finals MVP. I think he's like plus 2,600, meaning like if you put up 100 and he wins the MVP, you'll win $2,600. Listen, that guy, Lopez ain't got nothing for him. Lopez is old and washed. He'll have 2 good games in the series because he's a veteran. He's been in the NBA forever. He knows how to play. He'll have 2 good games, but for the most part, White Ayton's gonna wash him. Too young, too long, too athletic, and he took PEDs. At one point. So that's probably still helping him out a little bit. Speaking of PEDs, even though it wasn't a PED, it was the weed out. Our girl Lionel, now she's got the damn Congress calling into the Olympic Committee doing an investigation.
Lionel?
They got to come testify before.
Who is Lionel?
Kyrie Richardson. Got orange hair. You know what I'm saying? Good and damn well you see her, you start thinking thunder. Thundercat. Oh! But look. Of all the things that Congress can investigate, they're going to investigate this.
They should investigate it.
Why, Nathan?
Weren't you the same guy last week claiming that there was some kind of conspiracy against black female athletes? Was that what you were saying last
same
year?
guy last week? What you said? That was the same guy last week. I'm saying that this week. There was.
Then.
But this ain't it.
So there's some kind of conspiracy against black female athletes. Shouldn't somebody investigate into it? Okay, then.
No, not this. Not the weed out. Investigate how they treated the single mom. That's what you investigate. How they treated the single mom. Not the weed out. Like that makes us look weak. We are talking about all these petitions and whatnot. Let her run, blah blah blah, over some weed. No, man. No. And I told you they wasn't going. What I was saying is that I knew they wasn't going to let her run. I said that on June 21st. In a tweet, I said, so we just don't let Shorty with orange hair run in the Olympics and her orange hair and long nails. They didn't like FloJo. They called her a man. They called her a tranny back in, 88, 92? They called her a tranny back then because she was too fast. This girl, she bringing up images of FloJo with the dyed hair and wigs, the long, gross, disgusting, gross nails. But you ain't got to do all that, you fake-ass Thea Vidal. Just run your race. But then she want to come across as half woke and all that kind of stuff. They killed all that woke stuff with John Carter. They killed that back then. There would never be another Olympic political protest. Especially the U.S. protests are all just black people. The world protests, they go up there and snatch up Israeli athletes. Remember that from the 72 Olympics, Jim McKay? And we just find out that another 3 athletes are dead. That's it. They're all gone. You remember that highlight?
Yeah.
Very important piece of Americana, that Jim McKay news briefing. That's it. They're all gone. That's how the world protests killing people. You understand? There won't be any more Olympic protests. They're killing that stuff. So Sha'Carri trying to do that, I was like, they're not going to let this girl run. I saw way right through that. So, but that's all I got, Nathan. Normally it's a pleasure. Friday it wasn't because you were being so insolent, but today it was a pleasure again. And we'll talk again soon this week, bro.
I thought you were going to do like the Lion-O. You know what I'm saying? Thunder, Thundercats. Do it all, man. If you're going to do it. That brother. The hell? I got a few more things. It's almost the top of the hour. It's a bunch of small little things that are on my radar screen I want to just bring up real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I got some big heavy flow on it. There's still like a residual conversation going on about the fact that Felicia Rashad and Stephanie Mills are showing support for one another. And should she be fired from her post at Howard University? I don't know if she should be fired from her post. She's the dean of College of Fine Arts. I don't know. All I know is that the community is less safe because a predator is out. Did you see it was Mark Lamont Hill got into an interaction with Judge Joe Brown? Judge Joe Brown sounded like a damn kook. He sounded like a sexist kook. The woman wanted it. They wanted it. How the hell do you know? So on one level, he wants to talk about facts. Well, people, I don't care if Bill got out because he didn't do it. By the point of fact, people should read the law, know the law. It's all about the facts. Then he wants to give his opinion about the women. That's that rape culture. In a statement on Independence Day, Bill Cosby wrote, Ohio University, you must support one's freedom of speech. Miss Rashad, which is taught or supposed to be taught every day at that renowned law school, which resides on your campus. Then he wrote, and I thought he was blind, so how is Bill Cosby writing anything? Then he wrote, this mainstream media are the insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol. Those same media insurrectionists are trying to demolish the Constitution of these United States of America on this Independence Day. Will somebody please put this in his wheelchair and then face him to the corner, please? We don't want to hear a damn thing Bill Cosby has to say. Now this mofo out here talking about the real Capitol insurrectionists was the media. Who's that sound like? And y'all was out here caping for this fool. Oh, well, here's what happened, Nate. A rapist is free to now get on the internet and talk a whole bunch of ish. I knew Bill Cosby wasn't blind. I knew it. I said on this show, he is not blind. He just playing a role to get sympathy, and it worked. And shame on Felicia Rashad. She'll grab your cheeks like this. My name is Felicia. Say Felicia. If you say Felicia around here, she'll do this to you. My name is Felicia. Felicia. All she cared about is her own legacy. That's all she cared about. She was on the Cosby Show, and it was so instrumental, and she was Claire Huxtable, and it's supposed to mean something. It don't mean a goddamn thing at all. It was a TV show. Some people made some money. It didn't change a damn thing. It was a funny show. It was entertaining. I think black folks got more out of it than anybody else did, even though white folks was watching as well because it was so non-offensive. Told you Bill Cosby was a problem. Now he's out talking dumb-ish. I say F Felicia Rashad and F Bill Cosby. That's what I say. But I ain't going to beat a dead horse this morning. I'm going to leave it just like that. We's going to move on. Fans are upset because HBO has decided to end Lovecraft Country. And I never even got into it, but I know Donnie B did. She was all over it. And it made me like go back and just kind of pay attention to what the synopsis of some of those episodes. And I'm like, damn, it was wildly successful. Why they ain't bringing it back? I wonder if it was too woke. It was too real. They had an episode when they talked about the destruction of Black Wall Street that was off the chains epic. So I don't know. They announced this week that Lovecraft Country won't return for a second season. I hate when they do that. You ever watch like the first season of something and be like, oh, I'm into this. They got to bring this back. And then they don't bring it back. You're like, what the hell? Meanwhile, I go on Netflix and I keep seeing the recurring season 10 of the dumbest ish in the world, but it is what it is. That first season to just be seminal, though. It'll be great. And you Lovecraft Country people out there, it was super interesting. Ice Cube and Warner Brothers are facing off over the rights to the Friday movie franchise. Apparently, there's a disagreement between the actor and the studio. And that's what led to a rift. And that's the reason why we haven't seen any of the Friday any more movies from the Friday franchise. That first one was dope. Remember when there was so many great moments. I mean, I can't just pick out one. Let's just say it was dope. Getting hated. So we'll see if O'Shea Jackson, aka Ice Cube, is able to, get what he wants and bring it back to the big screen, man. People have been waiting for more of that for years and years and years. And I'll never forget. I went to go see the first Friday in the movie theater. I had to see it. I was in the aisles. It was so hilarious, man. When Chris Tucker was in that chicken coop. Remember that? Remember that? He took some PCP or some kind of drug. Man, that was hilarious. Hey, Miss Parker. Remember that? She was looking nice, though. Woo! She was looking nice. Hashtag Free Friday from the jaws of Warner Brothers, who refuses to make more sequels. They have hijacked the happiness of the culture. And if you go to Instagram, Ice Cube on Instagram, he got 20 million followers. He posted, man, what's funny is that Debo's dead now. It took so damn long to bring it back that Debo's dead. Remember Nia Long? She was yummy in that movie. Just like yummy. Just think of the best, most delicious dessert in the world. That's what she was in that movie. Mm-hmm. That's my time, folks. I got to make a move. I really appreciate you. Have an excellent rest of your day, and we'll catch up real soon, okay? All right. Hope you're off to a great start on your Monday. Back from the holiday. I know it's going to be, everybody going to be dragging a little bit, especially if you took yesterday off. If you had yesterday off, you got a good job, huh? You had yesterday off? Okay, now you're back at it. So hopefully the show give you a little bit of something to get you started this week. And remember our motto. Let's say it together, y'all. You ready? I'll wait. Let me know when you're ready. Winners focus on winning. And losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. I'm Nate Ivy. Until next time, I'm out.